All right, quick rundown. We are still in the SPY must and only go up mode. We've now reached the point where you gotta think it's just gonna blow through this 523, 524 zone. No regard. When it gets to these type of situations, your strategy has less. It's not as useful because this is just Looney Tune zone. So you gotta kind of you protect yourself a bit. This is not as sensible as some other action may be. So SPY is just basically on its run, and we're gonna see where it goes. A couple of the names that I was watching have been interesting. Actually, this Krispy Kreme had earnings, but this one's kind of lost its luster for a day trade. We had real quick, let's look at this here, RBLX. I wasn't aware that, I think it was earnings yesterday, got absolutely destroyed. So we're gonna go ahead and scratch this one from the list for a while and just see what comes of that. But prior to that, we had a beautiful move. The Piton. The Piton's getting kind of interesting. Not for a long. I refuse to long this, but if we look at the 14-day here, we had some beautiful action. So I'm just waiting for this to kind of top out and start to give us some looks to the downside for a potential day trade. This isn't anything I'm writing home about, but might be able to squeeze some money out of a day trade on the short side with this. CGC. CGC, ACB, Tilray, the whole gang. They had a good day yesterday. I'm not sure right now. I need to see the trade. To me, this is just kind of a nice bottom, a nice bounce, but it didn't really give us that look. So this is on watch, but from a distance a little bit. You can't deny the big picture still here. The big picture here still has a very interesting look. We're up in these areas here where we had some activity back in beginning in 9/4/23. We had this big volume here. So I mean, getting past that isn't out of the question. So this is definitely still something we're watching, but gotta be more as we go up the tree, as we go up the move, it requires more precision and patience. It's not as easy as just nailing it when it's down here. So that's still on watch. These Bitcoin miners, I think I had mentioned these a few days ago. Incredible looking daily chart. These have earnings, I believe, the 13th. I wrote this down. I believe the 13th these have earnings, so I'm hands off until then, but the frickin' daily charts look incredible. And if you run through some of these miners, they all have similar looks, but to me this wolf looks really nice. And if you remember, probably 3 weeks ago, I was talking about this IREN. I think this... Actually, I'm not sure if that's a Bitcoin miner. I'd have to... Let me look real quick for you. I don't want to throw that into the... Yeah, okay, but this is Australia. Okay, so this is an Australian Bitcoin miner. So if you exclude that, These American ones look really nice. So the 13th earnings, if we see Bitcoin and coin going, this wolf is number one on my list. So that's a big one. Now if earnings comes and it just falls off a cliff, then of course we lose interest. But beautiful daily chart here. Beautiful daily and weekly. I mean, look at this weekly. That's basically as good as it gets. So in a perfect world, this is going to have good earnings. Bitcoin's going to go up. Coin's going to go up. Everything's going to go up. This is going to give us a little pop on volume. We're going to start to make our move in here in this 260 zone. This is going to blow off all the way to 3 and then potentially beyond. I mean, this is one of those ones that could explode, especially the sector. So big potential here. Miners, Bitcoin. What was, this SMMT. Nailed this. Absolutely nailed this in here. And now, sorry, I keep drinking. Now, now we're setting up for a similar move. Now, this is how I usually identify these. Is this here, this move in here was kind of a 2 move. We were going to these highs. So this first move was to this, pull back. Now we went through this high, and now we're full blown. If we take this next leg up, this is a full blown through trade, meaning it's through these highs, whereas this was to these highs. So this next move, if it comes, this could be the big one. You know, so this is very much still in play. We're consolidating now right under these levels that I talked about with this massive volume back here in 1222. So this thing is on the brink of another leg up. And yesterday I was watching this in here when it put in this nice hourly little flag here ready to close, and it kind of pulled the typical move where it had a nice look, but then it started to kind of fade off. I was watching this at close, and it kind of lost its look a little bit, but now typical, it's gapped right back up. So this is right back in that spot here, where if we start to consolidate in here and make our move higher to those 520 zones, this could get interesting. Again, obviously SPY dependent. Like I said, normal thinking would maybe consider this to pull back, but we've re-entered the the stocks only go up phase. So SMMT is probably the take action now trade. Wolf is on deck, potential big money trade, waiting for earnings. So there's a couple names there that we are keeping our eye on, and we will stay posted with that.